Hey guys, what's going on? So today we are going over the patch notes for Knights Chronicle coming later on tonight. We are going to be doing the Honkai Impact 3rd one today as well. It's just that this one and all the details and the new heroes and stuff came first, so we're doing that first, and then we'll get onto the Honkai one later today. So yeah, this is just the overview here. It's going to be starting like in the middle of the night for me, so that's actually kind of cool. Guild Battle will finally be open, so we're going to be checking that out, and that'll be starting on the 12th. Got a couple new heroes. Amon is going to be in Gacha, I believe, and Ian is probably going to be in Advent, but we'll have to read on for that. And finally, Nemesis is getting buffed. I've been really looking forward to this because I knew it was coming, but didn't know when. So let's check out what's going to be going on with Nemesis. And Sinclair is getting modified with his Advent dungeon. Not sure if he's getting harder or easier. Another important note is that usually with maintenances, all of the special dungeons will be reset. So make sure after the daily reset, you do all of your like gold runs and Evo runs, etc. before maintenance starts so that you can do them again. That's pretty cool. All right, now here's the main update page. So here we go. Here's the first one. Amon, I don't know, but he is a defense type, light. I read through his skills. He sounds very, very good. I'm not too sure if I'm going to go for him right now because I kind of have Claude and I don't really see too much point with a lot of tanks. But we're going to read through his skills after we get through with the rest of the patch. And we got another tank here, Red Moon Wolf Ian, wind defense type. So a wind and a light tank. I mean, it's pretty interesting. I already kind of have Cordelia raised, so I'm not sure if he would be really worth the investment, but I haven't read his skills yet, so we'll be checking that out. We'll also be having Guild Battle. I have heard this is going to be much different from the Japanese server Guild Battle, but anyone that was playing on the Japanese server can tell us what the differences are here, but let's just check this out. Oh, it looks like Ian will actually not be an Advent, but rather a Guild Battle reward. It says, through a newly opened guild shop, you can buy the valuable rewards, including the newest hero, Red Moon Wolf Ian. That's pretty cool. So there'll be two different phases, attack and defense, and we could check out the guide here. It says there's a link, but that is no link. All right, so I've never even tried the Sinclair Advent, so I'm not too sure about what the difference is, but it looks like he's getting slightly stronger. It says if you are debuffed, stunned, burned, etc., you will get more damage, and you cannot fight back to the boss. And here we have the buff for Nemesis. So it looks like the main thing is she's getting a much higher base attack speed, going from 519, which is incredibly low for anyone, up to 559, which is definitely on the higher side now. It's still, I would say, kind of average when I'm looking at a lot of other heroes, but regardless, quite nice. It looks like you'll also be able to gain Dark Orbs by activating the Revive Unavailable debuff, which I believe she can do quite often. And as you can see here, the Dark Orbs actually increase her attack by 10%. For each Dark Orb, she can proc that Unable to be Revive 30% each time she attacks. Her third skill will also do 5% more damage for each Dark Orb she has, but it will use them all. So honestly, unless the third skill is like your finishing move and you already have quite a few Dark Orbs, it doesn't really seem worth it to even use her third skill. I'd rather just keep stacking them up for that attack increase and just go for her first skill perhaps. But yeah, decent buff there. Not sure if it's enough to really make her popular or whatever, but a buff's a buff, I guess. It also says her second skill here is getting a change, the Enchant Glaive. The newly changed, but it doesn't say what's actually changing with this. That's pretty much it for the patch. We also will be having the raid up for Amon, and along with that, Nemesis and Electra will be in there, so personal thoughts on that is, well, I'm probably, again, gonna have to skip this one. I mean, Amon definitely does sound extremely good, but Nemesis and Electra, I have them both, and I don't know, I don't really see myself using them too hard right now. We'll also be having a half off on the Essence dungeon, which is awesome, so save your stamina potions. Decane will be coming back in the Advent dungeon, and he will also have a 50% stamina reduction going on. We also got a whole new set of missions to get some more free crystals, so that's really cool. And along with that, a whole new set of achievements as well. Also focusing on Amon here, getting him to 5-star, blah, 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 you know how it usually is. But for the 10 crystals daily, we got play the guild dungeon one time. You should be doing that anyway. Clearing a single Advent 3 times, easy peasy. And succeed in skill enhance 1 time, which is a little bit on the harder side. But if there is anyone you're planning on skill enhancing anyway, nice free 10 crystals per day for I guess like a whole week. But without further ado, let's go ahead and check out Amon to start with. So his leader skill is what I would have expected Nyx's to be. I don't understand why he doesn't have a requirement that there's 5 light allies. I kind of made the excuse that because it's light and dark and they don't have really any elemental disadvantages, that it was reasonable to say that you need 5. But in this guy's case, it's just all light allies. Doesn't matter if you have 1, 2, 5, fine. But change Nyx's to not needing all 5 to be dark. How about that? So his first skill, like most defenders, will have a chance to taunt, 45%, and there's a 100% chance to imprint him with the Revelation Signet, which we'll get into in a second. His second skill hits everyone for 80% of his attack, and there's a 40% chance again to taunt, so a lot of taunt going on here. And there's also a pretty unique buff, 100% chance to grant all allies guaranteed counterattack for 1 time, but this does last 2 turns, so if they don't happen to get hit on the first round, then they still have a chance to get that guaranteed counterattack. And again, this will imprint him with the Revelation Signet. And his third skill sounds absolutely insane. So 180% of attack to 1 enemy, and it casts an Engraving of Destruction. He'll do the same thing to the adjacent enemies, 180% of attack, but there's only a 50% chance this time to cast an Engraving of Destruction. And what that does is when someone uses their third skill, when they're affected with this, they just die. It says that it'll inflict damage equal to 100% of max HP. And that's all of their HP, if that wasn't already obvious. They just die. It does rely on them using their third skill. Holy crap, would that actually work in Advents? Well, I'm pretty sure bosses would be immune to it, but there are always 1 or 2, like, not bosses. It'd be like Looming Death, sort of. I can also imagine it in PvP, though. If you give them a lot of attack speed and use it straight away, the AI usually uses skill 2 or skill 3 first. So if you get used to who does what, you know, then it could be very, very powerful. So his first passive is a bit weird. It'll increase his evasion and accuracy by 40%, and it'll increase the damage dealt by all allies by 30% when the caster is imprinted with Revelation Signet. And he should be imprinted quite often because he'll get that 100% chance from his first skill. So it should be somewhat easy to keep that up all the time. And this isn't just increasing attack, this is increasing damage dealt, which I believe is a much more powerful thing. And then his level 60 hero talent is also quite crazy. It has a high chance, I have no idea what that means, for the caster's turn to come more quickly at the start of the wave. So it's only going to happen once in like an arena battle, but it'll activate Resolve for an ally for 1 turn if the ally takes fatal damage, restores the target of Resolve's HP by 50%, and increases their attack by 50% for 2 turns. So I would say in a lot of cases, this is actually even better than a Revive, because it does heal them 50%, and no enemy passives can be procced from someone dying. Like Esna's Mental Seal, Morrigan's Revive unavailable, they don't die, they just get down to 1 HP and then get healed back up to 50. So I think that's an amazing, amazing passive. And all around he sounds like an extremely good hero, a very, very good tank. Can be used to deal some damage as well, even though he's a tank with that third skill there, potentially killing up to 3 heroes just because. So honestly, I may actually go for him. I mean, he is a light tank, it's kind of weird, but I did just farm Christian. He is a light dude as well, so they might be pretty good for each other, and his design is freaking awesome as well, so yeah, just watch his little ultimate skill here. That's pretty nice. But alright, let's check out the furry Ian with his cat ears and his fox tail. Oh, he's a wolf. My bad. So this guy is also a defender, tank, whatever. He'll increase when dark allies max HP by 20%. It's pretty common. But not a bad leader skill regardless for survivability. He has an AoE first skill hitting 3 enemies, up to 3 enemies, and a 30% chance to taunt for a turn. Pretty basic. His second skill actually heals him by 15%, which is interesting, and it can reduce the target's attack up to 2 targets by 30% for 1 turn. So that is pretty weak, I have to say. A 30% reduction just for 1 turn at a 60% chance on skill 2. I don't know. That doesn't sound that great. It will restore his HP by 15%, so that is something. If you could max this out, 30% HP restoration, 50% attack reduction for 2 turns, and a higher chance to actually proc that, then yeah, that'd actually be very good. And you know, he is a free one from the guild, so he's probably somewhat farmable after a while, so skill 2 could actually be pretty good. And his third skill is a single target, which is kind of odd. But okay, 300% of attack, 80% chance to remove all their buffs, and a 60% chance to stun for a turn. Again, since he is free and farmable in a sense, I will assume, all these skills should be able to be upgraded, so it is something to keep in mind that all these skills can be much better. Well, he has a very interesting main passive here. So there's a 100% chance to grant protection to an ally for 2 turns at the start of the wave or turn. It'll restore his HP by 20% and remove a debuff from himself if his HP is below 50% at the start of his turn. He'll also reduce damage taken by 3% per surviving ally. So a very solid passive there, a very good protective passive for himself and I guess eventually 2 allies, since it's for 2 turns. 2 allies should always have protection on them, it seems. And his level 60 hero talent at first doesn't sound that great, but I can definitely see it being useful. So there's a 60% chance to taunt all enemies upon an ally's death. So that can really get you out of a sticky situation, like if you have just your tank and like 1 healer left, it can draw all the attention to himself, so maybe the healer can revive one of the important ones that can, continue on fighting. And it'll also restore his HP by 20% each time an ally or an enemy dies. So it is kind of plain and kind of basic, but I can definitely see the usefulness there. So all in all, if this was a gacha hero, I would say stay away. But since he is going to be a free hero anyway, and you can just get him from doing guild battles and stuff, I would say definitely doesn't sound bad at all. Mainly his passives. So his main skills aren't really that, unique, important, interesting, good, particularly. But his passives are actually quite nice. But yeah, that's the update. Not too sure what else to say about it. Amon definitely sounds op as hell. Tell me what you guys think about him. Also tell me what you think about Ian and the rest of the changes. I'm gonna finally be stocking up on some essence with this half off stuff going on. And so yeah, looking forward to trying out Guild Battle as well. But that's pretty much it for the update. Again, make sure to tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. Leaving a like if you'd happen to enjoy would also be greatly appreciated. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.